What's up, motherfuckers? I had this one girl, I had made this post, right? And it was pretty much saying how we need to learn how to coexist because people having a problem with other people's way of living, other people's preferences, other people's beliefs. And I was just pretty much saying how we need to learn how to accept each other for who we are and learn how to coexist because none of that is going to change. You having a problem with somebody's beliefs and you having a problem with somebody's preference is not going to change them and their preferences and their beliefs. This young lady, she comes on my page and said, well, if you're going to be you need a different spokesperson if you're going to get this message across. In other words, I'm too attractive to get people to pay attention to what I'm saying because they're too busy looking at how I look. And then she put like the heart eyes and shit. So I told her, unfollow me. She comes back and say, y'all need to relax, because it was a couple of people that commented. She was like, y'all need to relax. That was a compliment. Now, if I'm serious about a message and all of this shit that's going on that's dividing us, so the people that's really running this shit can keep control, why would you think that was a compliment? I was so confused about that being a compliment. And I know how to take a joke. I know how to whatever. I know. But I also feel, in all honesty, that it's a time and place for everything. It's a time and place for everything, man. I don't understand what makes... I'm trying to get how she wrapped her brain around that being a compliment. I can't do it, man. It's not... And I know how to dissect some shit. Like, okay, I see where they can come from. No. That one I was like, no. No. Because I already have this thing, right, where I have these many gifts. And people would literally like a picture that I post solo dolo, not talking about anything that has anything to do with my talent. I would get more traction or traffic on that type of shit than my gifts and anything that I'm talking about serious. So I'm already kind of like battling with that a little bit. So to come on my page and say that, it's like, come on a serious topic. Like, you see what's going on in the world. Like, you see exactly what the problem is. And everybody has this idea on what the agenda is, right? Nigga, you got a whole lane over there, bro. I know God gave you free will, but that don't mean sit your ass in the middle of two lanes, motherfucker. Sorry, y'all. It's a little violent here sometimes. I forgot what the hell I was saying. Okay, so everybody has this idea on what the agenda is, right? But people really don't see the core of the agenda is, I'm going to put out all of this propaganda. I'm going to put out all of this information for y'all on another group of people from a different walk of life that's going to make you hate them in some shape or form because you don't understand them, because people are too scared or too uncomfortable to actually sit on a side of the world that makes them uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like, they know so much and too prideful to admit that we know nothing. And in order to be flexible, in order to keep growing and keep learning and actually know yourself better, you have to keep an open mind. You have to be flexible. You have to. You cannot be stuck in one way your entire life, in any way your entire life, because that hinders your growth. It makes no sense to me. Like, when people be so gun-ho on not changing, I've been the same motherfucker. They so gun-ho on that and don't even realize what they saying is, I still haven't grew up. The person you met 10 years ago, I'm the same motherfucker. I mean, my brain stayed the same. It took no other form outside of the form that it took 10 years ago, because I didn't leave it open to take a different shape, and form. That's what people are indirectly telling you when they tell you, I've been the same motherfucker my whole life. We've glorified that shit too much. Of being a real nigga. Especially where I'm from. I'm from the south side of Chicago. Right? So everybody is gun hold on being real niggas. Don't even know what a real nigga is. Really don't. We are complex beings. We go through different emotions. We experience different feelings throughout life, throughout every situation. And for some reason we talk about one thing and we try to keep one way in one direction in life. Let's talk about being real. Let's talk about labels real quick. Everybody want to be real. So I want to be real with the so-called real motherfuckers out here. We had exercised the shit out of labels. We exercise the shit out of it. And it's to a point where people are so attached to labels, they'll throw away their entire life just to not be labeled something or to be labeled something. To be labeled a real motherfucker. Let me set the tone for this channel. Don't ever expect me to be grammatically correct. Just expect me to get my point across, okay? Alright? Thank you. What's today? Friday? Alright, cool. Cool. We cooking with hot grease, baby. So let's say I'm innocent, right? And I'm an innocent bystander to something, but me and you happen to be in the same facility at the same time, and I witnessed some shit go down. And I'm so close to where it went down that now I am a suspect, right? So they bring me in for questioning. Just to not be labeled a snitch. It could be an innocent child that got killed. Just to not be labeled a snitch. Or to be labeled a real motherfucker. Because sometimes they go hand in hand. Most times they go hand in hand. To not be labeled a real motherfucker. I throw my whole life away and keep the murderer out there in the streets with innocent people. Just to not be labeled a snitch and not be labeled, to be labeled a real nigga. That's a real motherfucker. He held it down, man. It's still burning. They not. What? You just killed an innocent child and you're still free. In my future, I could be a doctor, lawyer, just a life changer. I'm throwing all that away just to not be labeled a snitch and to be labeled a real nigga. It's the weirdest shit to me. People still don't see the core of the agenda. Not to just be like switching on y'all, but people still don't see the core of the agenda. They still don't see it, and that baffles me a little bit. If I'm able to change, me being from the Wild Hunters of Chicago, I'm able to change. I'm able to see life from a different perspective and constantly grow and be adamant about it. Like, I've become addicted to growth and becoming a better person. I'm not too hung up on my past. I'm not too hung up on what people think about me. Because a lot of people will live in your past more than you do. They visit your past more than you do. They visit your past more than they visit you. A lot of people are afraid of seeing where you're actually at right now. Because it would make them have to respect you and put some respect on your name. A lot of people just don't want to do that. They want to remain ignorant so they can always have something negative to say. But that's off the point. I'm probably going to always just bounce around on the point because my brain be like, talk about this, talk about that right now. So y'all got to excuse that. So that's another tone I want to set when I jump around. But either way, you're going to get the point that I'm making. The core of every agenda that I see, when I see them putting out news on black people, when I see them putting out commercials when it comes to transgenders and certain rights being given, like the pacifier. What they do, they don't give a fuck about none of this shit, to be honest with you. They put a pacifier in your mouth to shut you the fuck up, and it also benefits the core of the agenda, and that is division. That is division. How can the top stay on top if they don't have four corners secured at the bottom? In order for the top to have a solid foundation, I'm going to give y'all an example. In order for the top to have a solid foundation, they need four corners secured at the bottom. Meaning, I need to keep y'all divided 4 ways at the minimum. We could get more stability at the bottom. But the most important is the 4 corners. Alright? So this is the top. We're going to use the book as the top. I need 4 more bottles of water. Hold on. I'm sure I got some. Don't talk about me, y'all. At least they water bottles. And not like liquor bottles and shit. No shade. No shade, beautiful people. No shade. I know I brought a bottle of water out. Where you at, though? Oh, shit. I think I left it on the floor. Anyway, y'all get the point. Shit, we can just use these 3 right now. If I could keep y'all divided in 4 ways in each corner of the world, or our world, that makes the top more stable. But if y'all came together, my foundation is they foundation crumbled. And this is the reason why I keep saying, like, when people start putting their beliefs and their religion off on other people, and they say it in a way where it's hateful. Like, I've literally met more loving atheists than Christians, and I find that weird. But as soon as you start putting your beliefs off and your way of thinking off on other people, and you do it in a way where you're telling them they are wrong, nobody is right and nobody is wrong. Everything just is. It just is. And once we learn that shit, we'll have more respect for one another. But now, if you're speaking from a place of lack of knowledge, it turns into hate. You think you're familiar with something, and you think you're familiar with a walk of life you never walked. You think you know so much because all you got to do is Google it. It creates hate in your heart. You think you know shit. You think you're smarter than motherfuckers. That's your worst enemy. The most knowledge you can have is self-knowledge. Knowledge of self. Everything else is given to you in a way they want it to be seen. Once we get that shit on the wraps, we lit. We lit, baby. But we got to first come to that understanding. The ego had to be put in the back seat. Cannot be in the driver's side when it comes to situations like this. It just can't. You know what I mean? But we are helping with the core agenda. And that is division. Because the more you keep us divided, the solid the foundation is for the people at the top. And it's not really black and white. It's liabilities versus assets. From what I see. So, peace out. To the next video.